In a bold move that's sure to spark debate, California Governor Gavin Newsom has signed a series of bills aimed at countering President Donald Trump's aggressive immigration policies, including a controversial ban on masks for ICE officers. But here's where it gets even more heated. Newsom is demanding transparency from federal agents, asking, "What are you afraid of?" as he pushes for officers to provide identification during enforcement actions. This latest development in the ongoing battle over immigration enforcement in California, a state with over 10 million immigrants, raises critical questions about accountability, trust, and the limits of state authority. And this is the part most people miss. While the mask ban has grabbed headlines, it's just one piece of a broader effort to protect immigrants and restore trust between law enforcement and communities. Newsom signed additional laws limiting immigration enforcement in sensitive locations like hospitals and schools, declaring, "California is putting an end to the fear and chaos spread by Trump and his advisors." These measures come in response to Trump's relentless targeting of California's sanctuary policies, which has included sending National Guard troops to quell protests and conducting raids that have tragically resulted in the death of at least one immigrant farm worker. The new laws aren't without controversy. Here's where opinions start to clash. Critics argue that states overstep their bounds by dictating how federal officers operate within their borders. David Mastagni, representing police unions, claims states lack the authority to question federal policies, including masking. Meanwhile, the Department of Homeland Security warned Newsom that banning masks would leave officers vulnerable to doxing, a term typically used for online exposure of personal information, but here seemingly applied to the routine identification of government employees. Senator Scott Wiener fired back, suggesting that officers who feel the need to hide their faces might be in the wrong profession. One bill, SB 627, explicitly prohibits law enforcement officers, local, federal, and out-of-state, from covering their faces while on duty, with exceptions for undercover work and protective gear. Another, SB 805, requires all officers in California to display visible identification while also restricting bounty hunters' involvement in immigration enforcement. These laws reflect a growing pushback against what many see as federal overreach and racial profiling, as highlighted by cases where U.S. citizens have been mistakenly targeted, detained, or had their property damaged during immigration stops. But here's the real question. Can California's actions truly curb federal enforcement, or will they only deepen the divide between state and federal authorities? As Newsom continues to review additional immigration-related bills, including protections for sidewalk food vendors and legal representation for unaccompanied minors, the stage is set for further conflict. Acting U.S. Attorney Bill Essaley has already accused Newsom's office of making veiled threats against Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, referring the matter to the Secret Service. This tense exchange underscores the high stakes and emotional charge of this issue. As these laws take effect, one thing is clear. California is drawing a line in the sand, challenging the Trump administration's approach to immigration and forcing a national conversation about transparency, accountability, and the role of state governments in resisting federal policies. What do you think? Is California overstepping its authority, or is it rightfully protecting its residents? Let us know in the comments.